Studying adolescent development and teaching has provided me with a new and interesting outlook on teaching adolescent students. Before I started this unit, much of my perspective on adolescent students revolved around the idea that it is just a time of stress and uncertainty, similar to Stanley Hall's perspective. However, my perspective has changed and I understand it more as a time that has the potential to be stressful and chaotic, that is especially influenced by aspects such as brain development, social development, and emotional development. Having a greater understanding of these aspects that can cause this period of time for students to be chaotic and stressful allows me as a teacher to be better prepared to accommodate students and allows me to design and implement a pedagogical approach to address these issues. I believe that a lack of flexibility as a teacher can be detrimental to students in both an academic and a psychological capacity. An example of this approach for the classroom is how I would design content and present information depending on the age of the students in the class. By understanding Baggett's theory of cognitive development, and more precisely the different stages of cognitive development and the types of operations that they are capable of, is incredibly important. Without having an understanding of these concepts, designing lessons and conveying information can be incredibly ineffective, and sometimes activities can be borderline incomprehensible. Another important concept to understand is memory and information processing for students. Understanding how short and long-term memory is formed, as well as how the brain holds and processes information, is extraordinarily important to education. Also knowing the limitations of these processes and being able to differentiate between intrinsic and extraneous cognitive loads allows me as a teacher to design lessons to be effective and minimize the burden on the brain and reduce stress for students. Though this may seem like a slight application of the information that I've learned in adolescence development and teaching, I believe that it is much more significant due to my KLA in chemistry and physics. The content in these subjects is expansive and can be presented in so many different ways, and having this background knowledge allows me to choose the right approach based on the students. An application of this could be as simple as identifying topics that have overlapping core principles, then linking topics together to reduce extraneous loads, or even limiting how much information that's covered in a lesson to make sure students have the time to process information and transfer it into their schemes.